Hello everyone. Now you will hear a brief retelling of the movie Nosotros los Nobles. Enjoy the movie. The Noble family, one of the wealthiest in the area, lives in Mexico City. German, the father, is a well-known businessman with 3 children, Javi, Barbie, and Charlie, who all live off the money left by their mother, who died of a health condition a few years ago. They're all spoiled brats who have never worked a single day in their lives, and German doesn't recognize how reckless they actually are at first since he's constantly busy working and believes his children are still dealing with mental difficulties as a result of their mother's death. Barbie is in a relationship with Peter, a failing businessman who is 20 years her senior and simply wants to marry her to pay off his massive tax burden. Barbie, on the other hand, is completely unaware of his true intentions and adores him. A spectacular celebration is planned for Barbie's birthday, and several extra staff arrive at the house to make everything ready. She identifies one of them as Lucho, the nephew of their family maid who used to reside in the servant quarters of their home. Barbie used to torment Lucho as a teenager by attempting to seduce him. Lucho dislikes her because of her bratish behavior. Meanwhile, Javi, the middle kid, is the only one who is even somewhat interested in taking over the firm in the future. However, he continues to party with his pals and tells them he works for the firm when all he does all day is dream up ridiculous ideas. Today, he suggests that they launch a petrol home delivery service, which German's business colleague Kareem mocks. German offers Javi a file that will be given to an acquaintance the next day in order to boost his confidence. Charlie, the youngest kid, is a college hipster who skips classes practically every day and picks on his professors, which frequently lands him in trouble. His regimen also includes partying and spending his parents' money on anything he can think of. German walks into the workplace one day and notices a bill for his children's spending from the previous month. Kareem notes the strange statistics as well and notifies German about his children's reckless spending habits, which concerns Garmin. He knows he has to educate his children the value of money as soon as possible, but he doesn't know how. Later that day, Javi joins a group of his pals on an unexpected trip to Miami, completely forgetting that his father assigned him a critical duty for the firm. Barbie's birthday celebration is a huge success in the evening, and everyone has a great time. She notices Lucho performing her job and approaches him to ask him to remove a stain from her dress. Lucho despises it, yet he must follow or risk losing his job. When Peter notices this, he interrupts them and requests a quiet time with Barbie and German. Peter then begs German's permission to marry his daughter. German asks how Peter can keep her happy without a job, and Barbie interrupts to say that they will utilize her trust fund. German opposes the marriage because he suspects Peter of wrongdoing, but Barbie refuses to back down. She just comes outside and announces her and Peter's engagement. Following that, the situation swiftly escalates. First, German realizes that Javi has forgotten about a crucial responsibility for the organization. Then he receives a phone call from Charlie's college dean notifying him that his son was found having an affair with his instructor and was expelled as a result. German develops respiratory difficulties and is rushed to the hospital. German pretends to suffer a heart attack when his children come to see him, despite the fact that it is not serious. He believes that this would serve as a wake-up call for his children, letting them know how much they bother him, but the 3 instead begin squabbling about a movie. German vows to make it his duty to teach them a lesson once they depart. Soon, he and Kareem devise the ideal scheme. They would pretend to be bankrupt and send the siblings to live in the slums. Barbie is with a friend at a restaurant when her card is abruptly refused, and she has no idea what to do because she has never had an issue like this before. Javi is out with his buddies, while Charlie is in a meditation class, when they are both stopped by a phone call requesting that they return home quickly. When they arrive at the house, their phone lines have also been cut, and a crowd has gathered outside to plead for money. German appears at that point, appearing worried, and orders them to leap over a wall to leave. German says that he was deceived by Kareem, who escaped with all of their company's money once they were far enough away from the home. German is now bankrupt and wanted for fraud in the 3rd degree. Not only that, but because the siblings are also stockholders in the firm, the authorities are hunting for them as well. This implies they won't be able to contact any of their family and would have to live in poverty. As the gravity of the situation becomes clear, German decides to bring the kids to his father's old house, which is not included among the company's assets. The mansion is in ruins since it has been abandoned for decades, and the 3 is shocked because they have only ever stayed in nice hotels. German adds that it will require time and effort to restore. That night, they eat bad street food and talk about money, so German informs the kids they have no option but to find work. Barbie wants to take a shower the next morning, but the faucet only produces dreadfully nasty water, so she ends up slathering hand sanitizer all over her body instead. Meanwhile, Javi approaches his friends and asks for money, promising to return it after his father's name has been cleared. However, the boys reveal their real colors and refuse to assist him. Later, Barbie phones Peter and informs him that the wedding must be postponed, which upsets Peter because he did not marry Barbie while she was still useful, thereby passing up his chance. Charlie is the only one who starts job hunting, and he quickly secures a position at a bank thanks to his father's connections. This irritates his new supervisor because the position was intended to go to her niece. She is always disrespectful to Charlie and threatens to dismiss him as soon as she has the opportunity. At the end of the day, the family gathers and the children present German any money they have accumulated. Barbie has the most money, but it turns out she got it by selling Javi's watch. Moments later, the devoted maid Maggie and Lucho arrive at the house to assist them, bringing with them some clothing for the family to change into. Lucho takes advantage of Barbie's circumstances to trouble her in the same way she used to bother him, but when his Aunt Maggie demands, he has no alternative but to hire Barbie as a waiter in a restaurant where he works. When Javi eventually looks for work, he finds work as a public transportation driver. Things go smoothly for him on his first day until another vehicle cuts in line ahead of him and the driver makes fun of him, sparking a rivalry between them. Meanwhile, Barbie works at a restaurant and is horrified to watch cooks spitting on customers' food. When she objects to changing into her uniform in a communal locker room, Lucho informs her that she deserves all she is going through because of her bad nature. With the passage of time, the siblings begin to acclimate to their new existence, cooking and cleaning for themselves. Although they struggle at first since they don't understand how things operate, they quickly get the hang of it. Javi's feud with a bus driver has lasted weeks, and one day he tries to beat him to a parking place. This gets him pulled over by the cops. Meanwhile, Barbie is a bad waitress. Anytime a customer is cruel and unpleasant, she is even meaner, causing the customers to leave without paying. She eventually realizes that flirting is the secret to getting better tips and begins to do it all the time. Charlie makes a mistake at his banking job one day, and his employer summons him to her office. After closing the door, she surprises Charlie by recommending that he do something kind to make one for his error. As a result, the two of them became chummy at the office. German catches Barbie attempting to make herself puke a few days later after supper. He is astounded to find that she has been doing it since college and was just diagnosed with bulimia. Barbie laughs bitterly, claiming that he never had time for his children and that she never expected him to care about them. This makes German realize how long he has been missing from his children's life. Meanwhile, Peter is telling a buddy about how he blew the opportunity to pay off his obligations, remarking on the bankruptcy and Kareem's escape with the money. Peter's companion, on the other hand, does not trust him because Kareem is close behind them, chatting to someone. Peter quickly notices that something is awry and begins his investigation. The following day, Lucho and Barbie go to the market together, and a simple activity like purchasing goods for the restaurant and sampling various street delicacies helps them to bond and grow closer than ever before. Meanwhile, Javi confronts his rival bus driver, but the absurd conflict abruptly ends when they discover they both read novels by the same author. They begin to chat more seriously to each other and discover that their life goals are the same, to build their own businesses. After a few weeks, the family realizes they have finally saved enough money to repair the house. They start working on it together, and German remarks on Javi's poor spelling skills. This prompts Javi to admit that he is dyslexic and has had dyslexia therapy, leaving German stunned. He didn't only ignore his children, he didn't even notice the treatment fees. The proprietor of the restaurant throws a celebration for his staff the next day. Barbie and Lucho dance, and Lucho eventually accepts to kiss her since Barbie has grown through hard work. Simultaneously, Peter comes to their home and approaches German, indicating that he is aware of the deception and threatening to divulge it to his children. German asks him what he wants because he is afraid they would hate him if they find out. When Barbie arrives, Peter takes advantage of the opportunity to inform the family that Kareem has returned with the monies and their bank accounts are now operational, allowing them to resume their previous way of life. German is pressured into being silent, but the siblings are pleased. While the rest of the family prepares to depart, Barbie goes outside to say goodbye to Lucho. She apparently believes that because Peter assisted her in this predicament, she cannot betray him and go to Lucho. German goes to the workplace the next day and asks Kareem for a solution. He wants to conceal the secret from his children, but Barbie cannot marry Peter. Meanwhile, Barbie begins wedding preparations, but her heart is not in it. German and Kareem are subsequently at a meeting with Peter and a lawyer. German gives Peter money to leave Barbie's life, but Peter refuses and makes matters worse by making German sign a document stating that Barbie's husband would be allowed to withdraw as much money as he wants from her trust fund. This phrasing was chosen on purpose in case he might persuade Barbie to marry someone else. German seeks Maggie's guidance following the encounter. She advises him to tell his children the truth since the longer he keeps it hidden, the longer it will take them to forgive him. German believes in her and resolves to do the right thing. Meanwhile, Peter proposes to Barbie again, and he begs her to sign the marriage paperwork right now since he can't wait any longer. Barbie is anxious and hesitant, but she goes to City Hall nonetheless. German calls his boys and urges them to meet him right now, but when he reaches Barbie, Peter picks up and hastily hangs off. Worried, German contacts a friend of Barbie's and learns about the wedding. German and his boys race to City Hall to stop Barbie, arriving just as she is about to sign the documents. German ultimately comes clean and tells them the truth about the phony bankruptcy, saying that he lied to show them how tough it is to make money. He also explains that Peter is blackmailing him because he just wants Barbie's money. The siblings are enraged at their father for deceiving them and just walk away without saying anything. After all of this, the three resolve to return to the old house, refusing German's assistance and ready to construct a life on their own merits, working hard even if their father can't see it. Javi and his buddy bus driver operate a car wash, and when old pals return, he dismisses them. Charlie finds a partner his age and is pleased, whilst Barbie returns to Lucho and begins dating him. On Barbie's birthday months later, everyone meets at the house to celebrate. Someone knocks on Barbie's door, and she opens it to find German standing outside, wishing her a happy birthday. There is some hesitation, and German considers leaving, but his children summon him inside, and the family is reunited.